So you have your front and the back pattern. Note that your extension is only on the front, okay? And it's gonna be from the side seam 2.5 inches out to the edge, okay? And the length of it will be 21.5, which accommodate your 20-inch zipper. Okay, so you end up gonna have 1/2 inch gap at the bottom. So what it goes is 21.5 from here all the way to the hem, right? So from here to here is 21.5, and you're gonna have 1 inch hem at the bottom. Okay, so, and on the other side, you don't have an extension. So you only have your 1/2 inch seam allowance, and you're gonna put a notch here, which is going to be 21.5 plus 1 inch, so 22.5. So when you put next to each other, they will line up. All right. So after you've done that and you cut out the fabric, you're going to cut your 2-inch wide reflective tape, and you're going to heat transfer it down, not on right at the edge, right on the seam. Okay. So there will be no heat transfer on the seam allowance. That means this whole extension will remain your print. You will see the blueprint. So your heat transfer will only come here. Okay, and you're gonna do all the way at the bottom of the hem. All right, so now you're gonna put the tape, now pretend, not the tape, so this is pretend this is a zipper, okay? Your 20-inch zipper. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna line it up on the back side, okay? You can line up at the bottom, and you can line up at the bottom from the 1 inch hem mark and go above 1 inch. That's where the zipper stop is gonna go, or the end of the zipper. Okay, not the end of the tape, but the end of the zipper. Okay, so you're gonna line it up. You can line it up so it is 3/8 of an inch from the edge of the zipper. Is where you usually sew, and we're gonna line up the edge of that, like so, okay? And we're gonna not do any turn back, we're just gonna do the raw edge here, okay? So what you're gonna do after you line it up, you're gonna sew from here 1/8 of an inch, just edge stitch your spacer down all the way to the bottom, okay? You don't have to fold the tape back or anything like that, okay? So that's what you're gonna do. Now, after you do that, okay, I'm gonna pretend that I stitch it down. So I'm gonna put a couple pieces of tape on it. So now that that's secure, you're gonna take the front side and you're gonna flip it over face to face, line up your seam allowance, okay, from the top, and you're gonna line up your zipper notch, okay? And what you're gonna do is you're gonna do single needle your 1/2 inch all along the seam allowance, or on the seam, past 1/2 inch from the notch. So go past, sew down here, and you're gonna back stitch. Okay, so, and then you're gonna open it afterwards. Okay, I'm gonna put a piece of tape to pretend that I top stitch it. Okay, I didn't mean top stitch, I mean stitch. I sew that seam together. Okay, so, and I stop right where that notch is, 1/2 inch past that notch. Now at this point, this is pretty secure, pretty lined up, right? So you're gonna hold this, line up at the bottom, so you are gonna be completely even along that, and you could put a pin in here. Since I don't have a pin, I'm gonna use a piece of tape to pretend and hold it back, okay? If you want to test using a piece of tape, you can tape it down, but make sure your tape doesn't remove any reflective color from that adhesive. Now you're gonna flip this over, okay? You're gonna flip it to the back, and what you're gonna do, you're gonna hold this extension, open it up, and you're gonna grab the zipper. Okay, and then you're gonna lay it down, flip it open, right? Only have these two pieces on this side, and you're gonna come in and you're gonna single needle 3/8 of an inch from the edge of the zipper, and make sure this is even all the way down. You're gonna stitch that down, single needle right at the 3/8, just like the other side. Okay, and then I pretend I have stitched it down, so I taped it. Now when you open it up, okay, I'm going to remove this piece of tape or your pin. Now you should be able to open it up like this. Okay, I'm going to actually cut that piece of paper, that fake zipper, to show you. So when I open it up, like I'm unzipping it, so this is going to happen. Okay, next, now if you just leave it there, what's gonna happen is this is gonna open up, right? So you're gonna stitch it down. What I want you to do is right at the edge of that reflective tape at the 2-inch, you're gonna stitch right at the same line. You're gonna go down all the way down, which you're gonna hold, basically it's gonna hold this whole section down. Okay, you don't have to cross stitch it if you don't want to. I think that's enough, and maybe they won't even see it because you have reflective tape over the printed spacer. There's gonna be so many lines there. I think you won't show it. All right, so the last, you want to, the reason why I say you don't have to fold this back, or I didn't say that this time, and it's when you fold your hem, which will basically cover all of that zipper tape. Okay, so you're gonna fold the hem and you're gonna do a double stitch right here at the 1-inch hem. You can either use your double needle probably, because it will give a stretch. So you're gonna do it on both sides, just wrapping the zipper tape so you won't see the raw edge there. Okay, so what it means is when you close the zipper, it actually is only gonna close up until 1 inch, which is fine. You're gonna unzip it anyway, so I think that will look really clean. Now, you can do either this way first, but I wouldn't sew all the way to the top because you have a pocket on the top. So I would do your pocket. Maybe don't close the side seam completely. You can do that first, or you can do the zipper at the bottom first, and then you can, when you sew, don't sew all the way to the top on the side seam. You can leave it open so you have some wiggle room to play with the pocket. So I would think I would probably do the bottom, the zipper first before I do the top.